Hello and welcome to a special interview. Firstly, birthday boy. Happy birthday, my friend. 44. Looking young every single day. What's going on? Giving your
Don't,
age away to the world. What's happening?
buddy. I told you're not meant to tell anybody. I don't. Once you get past 40, you don't want anybody to know. So yeah, 44 years young. I call it, not years old.
So every year now it will go one down. So 43 next year,
I
42.
agree. I like it. I like it. That's how it should be.
How has India treated you? Birthday in India.
Ah, I love it, mate. Honestly, every year I come here. Um, and you know what? I think I loved playing in India. It was one of the most challenging places to play because beating India in India is extremely hard. But I always loved it as a player. But I think I love it more now. I think now because you're still busy, like you're commentating or traveling or on work or other stuff here, but there's still time to, I don't know, to really dive into the culture, to spend more time with the people. Less commitment. So I think being here now, being able to actually spend more time doing some things outside of cricket. It's super enjoyable, and the people are. I wish I could pack the people up and take them home. I know there's a lot of Indians that live in Australia, but honestly, I feel like every time I come here, it probably takes a week when you get back to Australia just to get out of being in India because you get looked after so well, you get spoiled. Really, it's like your birthday every day. So when you get back to Australia, you got to get back on Australian living style.
See, we've been enjoying your commentary. It's the IPL is sort of heating up. It's going so well. Give me a sense. I mean, what does the IPL, what does India bring to you? I mean, for example, in Bangalore, I know you're spending the birthday here, then you will travel to Lucknow again. It's a
Yeah.
lot of travel, but at the same time, there is so much enjoyment, so much to look forward to, and that kind of makes this whole experience great, isn't it? And that is a
Yeah.
part of India, and I hope you're enjoying that bit on your birthday.
Oh, of course, man. It's special to spend my birthday here and to be back in Bangalore, where I made my debut. Yeah,
Debut match, all of
even more
that.
special. I know. So, and I'm at the same hotel actually, the ITC Windsor, where I stayed when I made my debut all those years ago. So great memories. Yeah, very special. Look, I love working with the BCCI, so I do the on ground commentary because it means you get to travel. I still do some stuff for in studio, but I think that's the advantage of being at the games. Yes, I know you got to get on an aeroplane nearly every second day, but you get to see the different cities as well. And I think that's the thing about India. Every city is different. They've all got their strengths, they've all got the things that they specialize in. And that's part of learning about the culture here in India, I think, to be able to go to all the different places, meet new people, experience different things. And yeah, man, I'm very fortunate. I was fortunate to play here, and now I'm fortunate to commentate and do some other work over here. So very
I've
lucky.
got I've got to wear my journalist hat. I saw you posting a tweet. I saw you posting a tweet. Interview loading. Rohit Sharma beyond
Ah,
22 broadcast. What happened? Give me something. What
yeah.
did my captain say?
Yeah, very lucky. So while I'm over here, I'm shooting some interviews for my podcast, and I was fortunate enough to one of those interviews is with the Indian captain. So I caught up with him the other day. He was in great spirits. Obviously, super happy. We're talking about fatherhood. He's just had a little girl, obviously back in November. He's little. He had a boy. He had a boy. Sorry. So his boy is his birthday is on the 15th of November. My daughter's birthday is on the 16th November. So yeah, look, it was great to spend time with him. I've always got on well with Rohit. I think he's a wonderful player. I think he's been a brilliant captain. So to spend that time with him was very special. And yeah, look, I'm extremely grateful for all the players, coaches, and owners of teams that said yes to coming on my podcast and allowing me to sit down with them and interview them. But yeah, it's been a great experience.
Yeah, and with Rohit, he's such a great guy.
Yeah,
More
he
than
is.
anything. I mean,
Yeah.
forget everything else. Some of these people are such great guys. They can be real superstars, but at the end of the day, they will be defined as human beings. And when it's
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma,
Yeah.
he's just a fantastic human being.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy. He's a gentleman, and again, I've always got on well with him, so that helps. But I think the one thing that I do remember when I was playing, time is so hard to find. You're so busy. You got so many commitments on the field and off the field. So, to give anybody extra time is very hard, and that's why I say I really appreciate everyone that gave me their time, but particularly Rohit. He's the Indian captain. He's got a newborn baby at home. He's got his family at home. Like, even talking about his little holiday that he was lucky enough to go away for, it wasn't for very long because he had to get home and do commitments for Mumbai, which is obviously the franchise he loves playing for as well. So, I know how time poor these people are, these players are, and certainly Rohit. So very grateful he gave me that time.
I was listening to you and Mr. Gavaskar. I think it was one of those games when you, Mr. Gavaskar, it was a mid-inning show and you all were talking or pre-match, I don't remember, with Mayanti and Rohit Sharma came up and you said he's one of the greatest white ball cricketers of all time,
Yeah.
perhaps the greatest white ball batter. And I was listening to that. I mean, when all these questions are asked, and I thought back to your comment, how do you see Rohit as a cricketer at the moment? Do you reckon that he still has it in him to play red ball? Go to England, be captain of India, white ball, does he still have a future? Where does Michael Clarke stand on this?
Yep, definitely. I still think he's got a lot of runs to make in all three formats. I do. I believe he's one of the best white ball players to have played the game. Top order batter. I think his bowling back in the day when he was younger was underrated as well. I thought they were, had some handy part-time off spinners, and his leadership's brilliant. Tactically brilliant, absolutely brilliant on the field. I think India is a better team with him in it in all three formats. I know he walked away or retired from the T20 stuff, but certainly one-day cricket and Test cricket, I still think he has a lot to offer. I think the hardest thing with Rohit is where does he bat? Because he's had success all over the order. Naturally, I think he would be the perfect number 5 in Test cricket. He plays the quicks good if he has to walk out to bat and you're 3 for not many runs. He plays the short ball well, so going all around the world, if you play in Australia or South Africa where there's extra pace and bounce, he plays the short ball well. And he takes the spinners on. So I just think he would be the ideal number 5. But I know he loves opening the batting. And I know he's had success opening the batting. So in Test cricket, does he open? Does he stay there? I probably think he does, and I probably think he'll go to England, score runs, lead from the front. And I honestly think if Bumrah's fit and Shami's fit, and I know England and I know India have got some other good fast bowlers, but if those two experienced fast bowlers are fit, I think India can win that series in England.
So if you were Indian selector, you would want Rohit Sharma in England on that flight?
No brainer. Rohit's captain. Rohit's playing, and Rohit's probably, if he wants to, if opening is his position, then he's opening the batting. Look, he just had a baby in Australia. Yes, he didn't start the series as well, obviously, when he got there as well as he would have liked. Then he did what was best for the team. He thought the openers batted very well in Perth. I think I don't want to change that. I want to put the team first. So he wasn't batting in his ideal position. It's the way it goes. And conditions were tough in Australia for batting. The ball was seaming. Swing is one thing. When it's seaming, it's extremely hard. And then again, I think he put the team first in that last Test match. He was out of form. There was a number of players out of form. And I know as captain, you don't want to take too many out of form players into your team. You need some guys batting well and confident. So he made a core there, but I don't think that core is the end of Rohit's Test career. I think he should go to England for India's sake. I think he should be captain. He should go to England, and I think he'll perform.
That series, if I have to extrapolate what you just said, Usman Khwaja was not looking the part at all. He was sort of getting out to Bumrah every single innings, and then goes to Sri Lanka, gets a double 100. Scores a double 100, continues, and that's how cricket is. You watched Virat closely, Michael. Yeah. You watched Virat very closely. You've commentated for in that RCB game. In fact, you are going to commentate on your birthday as well for an RCB game. You watched Virat very closely. How does he look? Again, very important that he plays a part in England. Virat Kohli, agility, energy, form. He looked very, very solid in that IPL opener in Calcutta to me.
Form is temporary, class is permanent. Honestly, the best players in the world are the best players in the world for a reason. It's longevity. It's through the highs, through the lows. You pick yourself up when you're not performing. You go and do the work to get yourself back in form, and you go and make runs for your team and help them win. Rohit Sharma will do that. He's done it his entire career. Virat Kohli's the same. Virat Kohli's had form slumps, but generally it's because he's such a great player. Our expectations are so high. We think he can walk out to bat and make 100 every single day. That's not the game. It's too hard mentally and physically to do that day in, day out. You're playing Test cricket, one-day cricket, IPL for Rohit and for Virat now because they're not playing any more T20s for India. But 3 different formats still to be able to make that adjustment, change the way you bat. It's not that easy to do. Sometimes you have a tour that you don't go as well as you'd like. Or sometimes you miss out a couple of games in a row. Like I think I heard on the plane yesterday on social media, somebody was talking about Rohit's missed out the first couple of games for Mumbai. Should they pick him? I'm like, what? Should they pick him? He's still your first pick player in that Mumbai team. He's facing the first ball. He's opening the batting. He's batting is still quality, and his leadership qualities for Hardik and the rest of that Mumbai team is so important. Mumbai seem to start the season slowly, regularly. They can still win this tournament. They've still got a good enough team to win this tournament if they play their best. And I've got no doubt Robert's one game away from making 100. He'll flick a switch. The best players do that. So I understand in this game, we care so much about results. And we like to change our opinion or our attitude so quickly. If somebody's not performing or a team's not performing, it's hard to keep the faith. But that's what you have to do. That's why the best players have longevity. They find a way to get out of the form slump. They find a way to maximize momentum or when you're playing well. I think it'd be very silly to write off players like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. And look, I reckon Virat's playing beautifully. Champions Trophy, I think he started this IPL really well. I know he'd be loving opening the batting as well. I think that those two players are so important to this Indian team. I think India, I think when greats of the game leave, you really work out and understand how much you miss them. And while you got them, I think cherish them.
I genuinely hope ITC wins or spoils you today and sends you a birthday cake, because I'm going to ask you a tough question. Your face, you will have the sweetness in your mouth of that excellent chocolate cake. You can go and burn, whatever calories because you're a fitness freak. All that is fine. Being a Bengali, I'm going to do this, spoil you, and then ask the question. The question is that everybody is asking, elephant in the room. What is it with MS Dhoni? Where should he bat? Do you think he still has it in him? Can he win games? Should he bat at number 9? Should he bat at number 6? Should he bat at 7?
Oh,
is it all
wow.
about brand? What is it? Because I'll tell you why. For me, MS Dhoni is the 2011, 12, 13, 14, that MS Dhoni, a cult hero. To see him bat number 9, I felt, no, this is not the MS Dhoni I want to see. So that's why I'm asking this question.
Yeah, look, I think he's still, the problem is he's such a good player, and he's still such a good player. He's still making runs. So everybody thinks bat him high, which I can understand. But when's the stage come where the other players take responsibility? Is he still playing when he's 50? Like, his role now in the team isn't just about, batting as high as he can, being the captain, and being the best wicketkeeper in the world. That has changed. He's at the back end of his career now. I think other players need to take responsibility. He's still the best wicketkeeper in the IPL. I don't care what anybody says. He's still the best wicketkeeper in the IPL. There's no doubt about it. The stumpings, it's like he's a freak to still be playing, first and foremost. Chennai are not paying him much money either. So just his wicketkeeping is worth 10 times what he's being paid this season at Chennai. He helps with leadership naturally. You can see him on the field. He's getting angles for when the spinners are bowling. He's moving fine leg a bit squarer to backwards. Like, he's still helping with leadership tactically. I don't know what happens off the field. Look, I think as a player in a team, every game is important to win. So if it's best for the team that MS goes in at number 6 one game, then bat at number 6. If he bats at 9 the next, then bat him at 9. I'm all about winning, don't get me wrong. But I just think media, us past players, commentators, we just have to realise, like, the fact he's still playing is unbelievable. And he's not just given a spot because he's MS Dhoni. He's still the best wicket keeper in the IPL. He owns that spot while he's still performing, and that is his job first and foremost. Wicket keeper, batsman. So the number where he bats is irrelevant to me. If it's 9, if he doesn't bat one game, if it's 3, I don't care about the number. I understand when you're a part of a team, it's about winning. That's the priority. But I also think we need to just understand where MS Dhoni is at now. He's earned the right to, if it's to bat 9 one game or 7 one game, the other players need to step up. They need to take that responsibility. And the fact he's still there, helping all these players at training, in and around the group, in the games, it's their responsibility as much as MS.
Okay. If I move to the other question that has really hogged limelight and newsprint, is the issue of home advantage. IPL is premised on this home-away format, right? IPL is premised on Chennai Super Kings in Chennai. It is a fortress. It helps spin, helps this, that. We've seen this in Kolkata, in Gujarat, in Chennai. Stephen Fleming had that meltdown when he said we're not getting enough assistance. At the same time, the BCCI laws are clear that franchises don't have a say. It is the curator who has the say in preparing pitches. My position on this is, ultimately, there is no need of a meltdown. There is no need of a controversy. All you need to do is sit down with the curator, have a silent dialogue, have a cup of tea, resolve what you want and move on. Where do you stand on home advantage, Michael Clarke? Do you think it's correct on the part of teams to ask for it? Do you think they deserve it? Where do you stand on home advantage?
I think one of the advantages of playing at your home ground is your pitch so well. I think I was in Ahmedabad the other day and I saw the first game was on, I can't remember, it was a different colour soil. I can't remember exactly what it was. Orange soil, it might have been the first game, 240 runs scored or in one innings. And then the second game that I commentated against Mumbai, because they were playing against Mumbai, they got so many power plays, they wanted to put it on the black soil so the wickets stayed a bit lower. I'm like, I'm okay with that. To me, it's your ground. You can, if the captain and the coach and the curator say, our strengths are spin bowling, so we want the wicket to spin more than if we go to Mitchell Stark and Delhi, where we want the ball to carry more because that's our strength. I think that's the way cricket is. It happens in international cricket. It happens in state cricket in Australia. You've got to look at what your strength is as a team. And that's why I think Chennai have picked their squad based on the conditions that you generally get in Chennai. It spins. That's why they've got 3-class spinners. That's why they're going to be tough to beat in their own backyard if the pitch is like that. So, look, I don't see any controversy here at all. I don't mind if the teams that are picked, generally, you're going to play, half your games at your home ground. So you want to win at your home ground as well. You want other teams to come there and find it difficult to win there. And you can't have every pitch the same. I don't agree with that. That's not cricket. It's not baseball where you just hit it on the full, just bowl full tosses and hit it on the full. No, the surface is such an important part of our game. I think it's so important for them to be different. I don't want to see 280, 270 play 270 in every 2020 game. I don't think that's fair on the bowlers one bit. I don't think it's fair on the quicks. I don't think it's fair on the spinners. I don't think that's what the game is. I think there's still got to be that challenge, even though it is batting dominant. There's no doubt about it, but it's still got to be challenging for the batters and the bowlers, even in T20 cricket, even in one-day cricket. I think it's so important.
Last few, so far from the evidence at hand, and you've commentated practically all these days, and you will till the end of April, which is excellent. One of the people who has stood up for me has been Shreyas Iyer as leader, as captain. I think, and when I see the teams, how they stack up, I think Punjab has started to look good. I think, some of these, even Delhi has played well. Where do you stand, Michael Clarke? Has there been anything stand out that you have observed that, okay, this player, this bowler, Vignesh Puthur was a great story. Aniket Sharma was Aniket Verma was a great story the other day in Hyderabad. These are the people who make the IPL what it is for me. Young people making a mark. Where do you stand on this, Michael?
Yeah, look, I think already we've seen so many young players stand up. particularly when I first landed here, to see there's only one international captain out of all these teams, I think is phenomenal. And that is a great sign for Indian cricket. All other teams, apart from Pat Cummins, has an Indian captain. I think that holds Indian cricket in great stead, not only for the next 5 years, but the next 10 years and time to come, because you're learning leadership from a young age. I think it's smart to have players like a Virat Kohli, a Rohit Sharma, and MS Dhoni still playing this game with all their leadership experience with other captains in their team, because they can help them. They can be on the field and help them if they've got an issue. The young captain can go to them and ask them for advice. They can be sitting in the dugout. If the young captain says, I want to send a left-hand, right-hand combination, go and ask the senior player. I think it's so exciting for Indian cricket. Individual players, there's always young players that stand up here in this tournament. And India's full of superstars. There's no doubt about it. You have so much talent here. It's such a luxury to have. The one player I do have to say that I've always thought he's a very good bowler, but I think he's in his prime right now. And it's for Indian cricket, more so than Delhi. It's Kuldeep Yadav. This guy is a brilliant wrist spinner. I think, again, personally, and it's no disrespect to any spinner that's playing for India in all three formats. Whoever the Indian selectors pick and the captain picks is completely up to them. Personally, I think he is good enough, Kuldeep Yadav, now to be playing all three formats for India in the starting 11. He's bowling that well. Going to England, I would be picking Kuldeep in my starting 11 in England.
That is my question. Ravi Shastri in 2018-19, when we won in Australia, had made a comment that Kuldeep Yadav is India's next big spinner match winner.
Unfortunately, he's in his prime. He's in his prime now.
So you are saying that the England-bound India team, whatever the conditions, Kuldeep Yadav should go.
Well, whatever the conditions, right. If it's a green seamer, you might not pick those. But yeah, generally, if the wickets are on how I know them in England, it depends where the test matches are.
Birmingham. First one is Leeds. On the 20th of June.
So Leeds can swing and seam a lot. So I don't know. Teams go there and sometimes don't pick a spinner. But I'll say generally in England, day 3, day 4, day 5, the wickets spin. You hope you get a good summer. The weather's good, and you see good even cricket between batting and bowling. I just think Kuldeep Yadav is a match winner. I think he's an X factor. I think he bowled out the back of the hand. I think he's got an unbelievable wrong-un. I think his control's improved out of sight. I think mentally he's improved out of sight. He reads the batter. As much as anything now, the strength of a finger spinner a lot of the time, because you mightn't get as much drift as a back of the hand bowler. You don't get as much spin as a back of the hand bowler, generally. You don't have as many weapons or as many different deliveries as a back of the hand bowler. But what you do as an off spinner or a finger spinner, it's very important you read the batsman. It's very important you're trying to get in the batter's head. You know what they do, you know their strengths, their weaknesses. Sometimes for a wrist spinner, you can get away with not knowing that. But the best wrist spinner I ever saw was Warnie. What was his greatest strength? Reading the batter. Understanding what the batsman's trying to do. When I watch Kuldeep bowl now, he's doing that better than he's ever done before. That tells me this young man, he's not young man, he's 30 now, he is ready because he's always had the skill to execute. He's got a number of different variations. He's very accurate. He's always had that. But now mentally, he's reading the batsman so well. That's just what I've seen in him, Champions Trophy, and certainly these first couple of games. Like for Delhi, they're throwing the ball when they're under the most amount of pressure. We can't get a wicket. Who do we go to? It's Kuldeep Yadav. Starkey bowled beautifully last night, but Kuldeep Yadav, again, he gets the ball when they're under pressure. I just think you know what? Let's see what happens. By the end of this IPL, let's see where he sits on that wicket-taking list. I would be surprised if he's not in the top 3 wicket takers.
Last question. Before we close, are you seriously going to give India a chance in England? Because all of us were worried about Australia. What happened in Australia? What happened against New Zealand? Worst phase in Indian Test cricket. Then in Australia. So yes, IPL, great celebration of cricket, etc. But 5 tests against England, start of a new cycle, new WTC. Do you think India realistically has a chance?
Bumrah fully fit, Shami fully fit, Kuldeep Yadav in your 11, India will win.
Big call.
I don't mind because, and I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. But my gut instinct, if Shami was fit in Australia, and obviously Bumrah doesn't get injured, I think it's a different series. I'm not saying India win, but I think it's a different series. I think India really missed Shami. I really do. I just think he's that seam in Australia where the ball was seaming.
You've seen of
It would have
Shami in
been
the
like
IPL,
Scott
do you think
Boland.
he's ready?
Shami would have been like Scott Boland if he bowled in Australia.
From what you have seen Shami in the IPL, you think he's ready?
By the end of the IPL, he will be, definitely. He's still like he got a bit of tap the other night, but I'm not looking at that when I'm watching him. I'm watching his run up. I'm watching his rhythm. I'm watching that seam of the ball out of his hand. I'm seeing, is there any swing away with that brand new? I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the length he's bowling, how it's kissing off the surface. There's all those things that I'm looking at if I'm thinking about him in Test cricket. Of course, he's playing 2020. You want him to still perform here, so he's got to bowl more slower balls, more Yorkers, more change-ups. But if he plays the IPL and he gets through that, he is primed and he's in. He's got to play. He's that good a bowler, and he complements Bumrah so well. Bumrah's the best. He's the best in the world at the moment. If you get those two fit, and I think pick Kuldeep Yadav as that X factor wicket taker, I think India can win the series.
So what's the plan tonight? Family coming? What's happening? What's the party? What are you doing?
No party.
What's going on?
I'm working. I've got a game on tonight. So, no, very chilled out, buddy. There's an awesome chocolate store downstairs at the ITC Windsor. So I'll be down there. I'll be definitely eating some chocolate for my birthday. But, yeah, pretty quiet, mate, unfortunately.
You are doing the wrong thing. The chocolate is for me, not for you. Anyway, I'll indulge you for today.
I'll burn it off in the gym.
But Michael Clarke, always a pleasure. Happy birthday.
Thank
Love
you, buddy.
lots. All the very best to you. Wish you all health, happiness, and everything going forward. Thank you very much.
Very kind, mate. Thanks for having me, buddy. I
so much.
appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye.